Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Divas, Diamonds, and Dollars podcast. My name is Larisa Troche. My associate is Cecilia Benford. We offer whole life insights and a unique perspective from two sisters and sisters speaking to the collective sisterhood of women everywhere. We offer weekly conversations about the status of women today and empower you with the tools and strategies you need to help you live your best life. Based on our business management and career management backgrounds, we offer sound guidance and share the key success principles of leadership, personal development, and business. Remember, we are speaking to all that you are, and we are here to support you on your personal growth journey. Be sure to subscribe to our weekly podcast. We invite you to lean in for possibly the best conversation you have had all week. People, pretty excited to speak with you today because did you notice we tried to give you a theme that the theme for October is fear and obviously getting over your fear. And today's topic is living fearlessly. Now, while we can't predict the future or control many of the challenges we're faced with, we do get to decide how we respond to life's little adventures. So I'm kind of generalizing here, but I think it's fair to say that those who are living large overall expect good things to happen. When facing the world with an optimistic outlook, I feel tends to tip the odds in your favor. At a minimum, being positive likely allows one to see opportunity and positive outcomes. Knowing where you're headed helps one to forge ahead with certainty, making it less likely that the occasional hiccup will waylay your progress. So if you don't do anything else, just change your attitude and say, the world is my oyster and it's all mine. And that way, what is that? Let me see how I can say this. When they say, I know what it is, work is opportunity in sheep's clothing. That's probably not it. But anyway, opportunities, whatever the word is, even though it's about the phrasing, how you phrase or how you approach anything that happens. And so, you could either go, life is thumbs up, can't see my thumbs, or you can go, life is thumbs down. So it's really, I feel like it's your choice. And so if you don't get anything else, just change your outlook. And no one's suggesting Pollyanna rose-colored glasses because that might get you in trouble too. But just be aware, it's all good, right? As long as you come out on the other side. So anywho, I am going to, we love our mnemonics. We just get in a roll sometime. And so we want to help you rephrase fear. And so that is why we have given you a little mnemonic for fearless. Because I think that if you can just remember these principles, it'll be another tool in your quiver, if you will. So, fearless, face each new day with intention. There is I was part of a women's community some years ago. And one of the things that I learned is that, say if you have a big meeting or some event coming up, if you literally plant yourself, I can't stand up and show you, but what it is you're standing up and you kind of, I guess you're not so much brace, but you kind of settle yourself down into your abdomen or solar plexus, your power center, if you will. It does make a difference in what the next, period of time will be. So that's one tool, which half the tools, and I can't show you. But anyway, really setting yourself physically does actually help. But to the point of setting each new day with intention, you can just get out of bed and, kind of skip the moaning and groaning as the body parts are on strike, as they tend to be on occasion. But just say today is going to be a good day. I'm going to X, Y, and Z and, approach the day with power. or you can get up and you can say, oh my God, it's Monday. Ugh. So kind of really set your day with intention for good things to happen. Even if you just say today is going to be a good day, I do strongly suggest you skip the moaning and groaning, because that also is an intention that will set the tone.
That's right. For
So
sure.
decide that you will be fearless and assertive in achieving your goals. Today is a new opportunity. Chica one.
All right. So, we could leave it right there, because in a way you kind of said a mouthful, you said a heart full, you said a head full. And when you suggested this previously, I really liked the mnemonic fearless. And I've used this myself in various things, sometimes for myself or sometimes for others. It's really a brain challenge too. And so, again, when I first saw it, I'm like, she got this. But, we are sisters. And so I love that you challenged me without realizing you challenged me, but at least inspired me to, okay, Cecilia, what else can you do with this? But more importantly, there were two things that kind of stood out for me. And one of the things was the word focus. And when you say face each new day with intention, that to me is definitely focus, right? Focus means you have to do something. So that's kind of what stood out with me first. But then I was listening to something this morning, and I was reminded, and even when you said something about this women's group you were in, well, I had the opportunity to take a small group. I was asked to teach a small group of people about, it was, we're spiritual people in a secular world. And so what that means is, how do you teach certain attributes to people who go to work every day? How do you conduct yourself every day at work? And so what I did was, I didn't create this title, but with combining various things, besides I did this for 3 years, I always had to come up with a book, find a book, find a topic to make this work. Faith at work. And so here's the faith. Well, a lot of people say, I got faith. And sometimes when you tell somebody, hey, you got this, well, what is that really? Well, that might be the day they just aren't feeling that. Yeah, I got faith, but I still don't really, I can't move. I don't know what to do. Okay. And so what got me thinking about this was Pastor T.D. Jakes, for those who have heard of him, did a sermon entitled, It'll Work If You Work It. So again, we're talking fearless, we're talking faith at work. And so I kind of wanted to subtitle and spin off on this a little bit. And so the other thing that I love, again, these reminders of things that pop up that you haven't thought about in a long time. Years ago, I remember this officer telling me at work one time, and I don't even remember what the topic was, but it really stood out with me. She said, ma'am, God does not give us a spirit of fear. So I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. So I looked it up. For those who care to look it up, it's 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. But I have had times to call to remind myself of that, because the reason I've talked about the heart palpitations, we've talked about that moment when, you're just kind of stuck. And you know that you're better than stuck, but we all get that moment of fear. So just that reminder, and we're talking about being fearless, is that focus on what's in front of you. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to focus on what's down the path in the future. So I think I beat that F to death. But I really, face each new day, focus today.
So as I always like to remind you, I hope that you have a pencil because this, again, it's going to be a tool that can carry you forward. So F is face each day with intention, focus, and face each day with faith. So you have 3 F's to choose from. We also want you to examine each new challenge with a solution-oriented approach. Now, look, well, it's 2 things here. One, we're talking about if you're facing a particular challenge, something has come up, but I'm also wanting to share with you just the concept of an outlook is that you're going to live fearlessly. So that is the overarching umbrella, but each of these I'm sure could work with a specific situation. So if you examine each new challenge with a solution-oriented approach, that gets you a little bit past the, oh my God, go ahead and have your OMG moment. That you have earned it, you have worked hard, that is yours. Go ahead, scream it if you need to. But you also have to realize you can say, okay, this happened, now what?
Right.
So OMG, absolutely. I may have had some of those this weekend. So, but the whole point of it is you have to go and. It's not like OMG and then you just, sit down. It's OMG and. So I want you to have a solution-oriented approach to whatever comes to you, big, small, little, good, bad, in between. That's the whole plan.
Well, I took you up on the and.
Okay, good.
I took it to the exploring.
Okay.
So now after you've had that OMG moment, because I'm telling you, how many people have you talked to? They kind of stay with that OMG moment. And I'm like, okay, I get it. We understand, but you need to move on. Now, what are we going to do with this moment?
To any victims here. I just really wanted to say probably this whole time, you cannot be a victim and thrive. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I like the exploring because one of the things I think too many people want to do is have somebody else solve their challenge, solve their problem. And the more you explore your own issue, the more it's going to increase your thinking when you do get these challenges. Don't just give up. Don't throw up your hands. And guess what? We always talk about lifelong learning. You may, in fact, learn something that you can use later. So, hey, I get it. It's a challenge. You acknowledge it, you examine, but take it further and say, okay, now what else can I do? Go explore something else that may really start getting that mind juice working and really kind of take you out of a stuck moment.
And actually, to your point, if we're gonna extend our conversations. The exploring, sometimes you have to leave OMG over to the side and go do something else. Because when you let your mind, when you're just like stuck, I think you need to go do something else to momentarily distract yourself, because sometimes you're just thinking, and your brain is like, okay, look, it hurts. I got to stop. So do something else and then come back and look at it with fresh eyes. So that's also an opportunity. So in as much as possible, allow adequate time for you to consider your options. Usually there's more than one way to skin a cat. So when things come up, you can go, wow, like a rocket, shoot, doom, done. Is shoot, doom, done. Is that really always the best alternative? Or maybe you can, take a bigger approach to it. Or you can reap many benefits from one situation. I like that word. It made exactly no sense, but I think I'm gonna write that down and see if I can work with it. What I started to say was, in as much as possible, if you have the time to allow you the opportunity to review the different options to respond to this situation, there are more than likely different solutions. I really like that word.
Yeah.
So anyway, just kind of think it over. Do you want to take the first option? Fine, if you're in a time crunch. But if you have, again, a little bit of extra time, a little window to work in, then look at the different scenarios. So there's usually more than one way to go about things. So I hope you'll take that into consideration.
Well, as you know, I said I could try to. So I'm thinking about allowing adequate time. And for me, one of the things that I've had to do is learn patience. And so sometimes I'm just not patient. I really don't want to allow adequate time. So the reminder is approach the situation with patience. So she said allow adequate time, but remember, what does that mean? You might, we all kind of perceive things, kind of differently, but I think sometimes it's kind of talking to yourself, right? And since we're talking about looking at different options, you're going to appraise each of those options. What value what option? Because you might come up with 3 and 2 of them you just toss out. So praise the value of your options. So allowing adequate time will allow you to do that.
I like that. So we have an approach, and I think I definitely heard appraise, because I do like that. Appraise the value, allow time and approach. So look, we are loading you up. So
That's right. Right. Don't want anybody to forget the value of fearless.
That is absolutely right. So this is what there are so many pearls of wisdom in here. So, but I do like that we're able to give you choices, and you can choose which one works better for you. So there you go. Resolve to glean the lessons for future reference. Sometimes when you are going through it, before you grow through it, you're like, the temptation is to just look, I just got to get through this moment in time and I am good to go. And that's very possibly true, but I don't want the suffer to be needless suffering, right? What are you going to get out of this? So it's not just getting through the moment. Remember, always think about big picture scenarios, bright future, rather. So this lesson could, number one, help you in something that happens in the future. It could help some member on your team. It could possibly help a client. So remember, there's always multiple baskets for the different situations that come up, because there are different people in your life, we hope, so that you are supporting others, you're supporting yourself, but really think what else. It's like, okay, I got this. No, I got this. And I've told you before, my personal logo is the ampersand. So I'm saying to you, take your gift of this event and so carry it forward to what else. So resolve to glean the lessons for future reference. It might happen again. It might come up with something similar that you can use this lesson to address going forward.
That's right. That's right. And everything we talk about is life. So actually, well, I don't need to add what you said, but I like the come up with a word, refer or reference, since you talked about past lessons and the future. Just sometimes we just have to continue to bolster ourselves. So when you resolve to do something, when you were resolving to glean whatever for future reference, you in fact are reinforcing what you have learned from the past. And like you said, share that with your team. So refer back to things that have happened before that are similar, so that you can, if you're coaching somebody, just helping one person. I think, hey, I listened to the confidence podcast, which was really very good. And I heard a lot of what I felt was resolution and reinforcing behavior. So this is a big one.
No,
Oh, and this, I'm sorry, one last thing, because the other part, I just remember Deborah, was that her name? But the whole thing is, as we're talking about accomplishment, and when you do that, you're reinforcing behavior. That sense of accomplishment is really a great outcome too. And so again, we're talking about attacking that fear muscle. So, okay.
so I want to say this is a big one, but I think they're probably all pretty big, but this is important. And that is, I need you to leave negativity in your rear view mirror. You cannot moan into the pillow about your woulda, couldas, and shouldas. Those are exhausting and they will take you down a rabbit hole. And it's not helpful. Leave negativity in the rear view mirror. Sure, this thing happened. And so in all cases, I mean, your feelings are your feelings, but I want you to treat yourself well. I want you to be kind to yourself, and negativity is not kind to you and it's not helpful. So that is not where you need to hang out. It's like, you cannot see your next opportunity if you're so busy looking in the rearview mirror. So your future is in front of you. So that thing back there, it's going to stay back there.
So I struggled with this one in the sense of, this is a big one. Okay, excuse me for squirming around. You can tell I'm having this body moment of thinking about this, but the most important, I mean, I've seen women, we all have, and women, I'm talking to you, if you're one of these people who really got it going on. But you have to kind of ask yourself, why do we not leave this negativity in the back? So I'm not going to answer the question. I'm just going to make it a statement. And that is, love yourself. As soon as you start down that negative trail, whoop, flip that switch. We've got to learn to love ourselves. That will the more you learn to love yourself, you will put you on a positive path of thinking. The more you do love yourself. And at the end of the day, we're all leaders. And so I do know people who can lead others and still have this little sense, but sometimes these little negative thoughts that you talk about, they will kind of trickle out. So you're a leader, lead, love, that comes first. And just every time you start thinking that way, and just pop up those words. Just saying.
And you know what else helps? Listen, this is true, okay? Don't just think it. Express your desired outcomes aloud.
Yes.
Say the words. Say the words into reality. Reinforce your goals by verbalizing them, write them down, and keep them visible. And each morning when you get up, express your desired outcome out loud. You have to make it so. And part of making it so is to state it so. I am. Just I am. And fill in the blank with what you are doing on your journey to greatness.
So I don't have anything to add to that, but when you said that I am, it's a confession from me. I remember when Muhammad Ali came about. Mm-hmm. And he used to talk about himself, and I didn't like that, and I didn't get it. I'm like, what? But he really, I am this, I am that. But you know what? I mean, later I learned that there was power in his expression, and I've seen it. I mean, there's not that many who do it that way like him, because what you just said is action. You can't just say it, but the action has to follow. I mean, the actions must be expressed in what you just said. So there's really nothing more to say about that. But I'm just using him as an example when he said I am. When he said I am somebody, and again, I was a young person when I was hearing that, but later I learned like he knew what he was. I mean, that was a good thing.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that's called, let's agree. I don't know how to pronounce all the words. So, but braggadocio, or braggadociousness, but I think it's called braggadocio. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how these athletes talk themselves up. And I used to be a junior athlete. I used to run track in high school, but it's not when when you're sitting on the couch and you're watching someone do this on a sports channel. Before you click over, I'm not watching sports, but you catch a little glimpse of a little piece of it before changing the channel. And because it's not attractive, but to your point about Muhammad Ali, you are so right. Because I mean, he came out when I was young and uninformed. But now that you're able to look back and reflect on what was really going on, as you say, that is a valuable lesson. Because men say it this way and women say it a different way. And I'm pretty much on the kind of gentler side of my approach to things. But yeah, that's what they're doing. They're not just being buffoons, if you will. They're, it's that eternal pep talk. You must talk it up.
Right. That's right.
I do definitely give myself a pep talk on a regular basis. And so I'm suggesting that you want to use that also when you are establishing your goals and you're setting your intentions for the day. You want to express your desired outcomes out loud. So I can't say that's an important one. These are all pretty darn important.
Right.
So I
They are.
know that you're writing these down. And if not, at least listen to this podcast over. Now, here's the other biggie. I'm gonna say that about everyone. So
They're all big. You can't say fearless without any of these.
right. So, surround yourself with allies and a supportive network. This is huge. Nobody wants to go it alone. And I want to say, I'm not sure, was that Barack Obama? Someone said, no one achieves great things alone.
That's right.
Now, you are smart, you are strong, and you are successful, but chances are there is someone in your atmosphere, your community, your environment. There's been someone cheering you on. There's been some shoulder you can lean on. So surround yourself with allies and a supportive network on your journey. Don't try and do this all by yourself.
So I did want to go maybe say a few more words about that because so first of all, I agree with that. I don't surround myself with people, naysayers, people who got a bunch of negativity going on, bunch of drama. That's not my association. It's not my tribe, it's not my posse. But sometimes I know that while we may share, when you said surround yourself, so I'm going with the sharing to when we surround ourselves, but sometimes we're still kind of introverted with our thoughts and what's going on. So I'm going to suggest that we go take that extra step and share what you're feeling, but share your successes. Sometimes we feel like we're bragging when we do that. And I know it took me a very, very long time to do that. Share your successes. And that will really help you when you do come up on a situation, because one, you're getting feedback from your posse, your tribe, your network, your allies. You'll start getting feedback, certainly that you didn't initiate, you weren't even amongst your group, but that group sends you a text. That group sends you encouraging words, a person. So that's really very important about who you surround yourself with. And so, and even if you don't necessarily know how you have affected something or situation or someone, but when they send you something, it makes you just want to keep doing good, doing better. It helps you when you hit a situation, you hit a roadblock, and you kind of remember what somebody said to you. So those are the people you're surrounding yourself with.
And so as we have been talking this conversation about living fearlessly, it all adds up to seize the opportunities before you. You're not always gonna see the power right when you're in that moment. It was
Right.
something that you look back upon and you realize, hey, this was the launch pad for my next, greatest achievement. So seize the opportunity that is before you, because I'm just telling you. So it's like when, you're having a bit of a moment, and you're like, do I carry on? Should I, is it, am I on the right journey? And that other conversation starts to creep in that we're trying to, steer you away from. So many times I have read that people often give up just as they're about to hit their biggest achievement or their biggest level of success, because
Right.
yeah,
How sad is that, Yeah.
I won't say I'm so afraid of that, but I do remember that, because I'm here to tell you I have my days too. That's why we're having these conversations. I want you to know you are not alone in it. It happens to the best of us. And so I don't want you to throw in the towel. I want you to seize the opportunity, because you don't know what kind of gifts that are hidden, what little gems are hidden in there. They could be small things, but they could be just that little impetus that you need to keep moving forward until you get to, this big thing. Because remember, success is a journey. So it's not like you're going to get here and go, okay, woo, I'm arrived, done. See y'all.
Right.
It's not how that works. So I'm here to tell you it's incremental. It's like each level, right, leads you somewhere. You're building up on it, your successes. So seize this one with both hands, because you don't know what this moment holds for you. Right this moment, you might be thinking about, who getting through it. I survived, I'm done. I'm here to tell you that you're not quite done. It's that this is your stepping stone. So seize the opportunity before you.
Yeah, this is a statement that we all know. And so one of the things I have learned to do with seizing the opportunity is whenever I do have a challenge or an issue, I just say it's just a test. It's just a test. And I've got to survive the test. And so not only do I say it's a test, but I say, a lot of times I just, after, it's kind of like that's the initial thought, but then I say it's the opportunity. Whatever challenge or issue you're going through, it is simply an opportunity. It is an opportunity that when you seize that opportunity, you have started to conquer your emotions first and foremost, because we didn't talk about emotions, but I know you've said this, Larisa. I believe I heard a little bit of this before, but kind of setting your emotions aside. But the OMG moment, okay, that's the moment. But you conquer your emotions. You have taken the next step toward possessing the positive outcome. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you're after. And so we're all going to have those moments. Life just doesn't give you one, because heaven forbid, if you only got one or two of these moments and you're just looking for that one success and you're happy, well, I know as a multipreneur, the things that we are talking about, we're talking about going further each step, because once you conquer that step, hey, you're ready to possess the next challenge, right? You're not ready to just kind of sit back on your laurels. So looking for positive outcomes, fearless means you will possess the outcome. That's what I say. And I heard you say on your morning moxie, Miss Larisa, being a warrior. So it just so happens here in Ohio, I remember when I heard that word, our my children's high school, where they went to, they were warriors, but the women were called warriorettes. So I like that. And, everybody, whatever, as they say, floats your boat, but truly being fearless is for everybody. Being fearless is for me, it's for you, and anybody we're talking to.
So, gentle persons of the roundtable, I hope you're excited about your bright future and living fearlessly. I really honestly don't brag, but often, but I do think these really were some good tools, and I hope that you will take them to heart and use them. And I don't know about, for example, sometimes commercials just really resonate with you. And so this is why they have all those special commercials during the Super Bowl, because they know people, I don't know, that's kind of a thing, right? They do these special commercials. And once in a while, usually, commercials, time to get up, go to the bathroom, get some coffee, or get a drink, or whatever you're doing, get a snack. But sometimes they just really stick with you. And there is one called By Dignity Health. As a matter of fact, I wonder if that's on YouTube, because it is so good. It is so cute that I just love that commercial. I am entranced. And it is, I'm going to adopt these kids. I don't know. It appears to be a sister giving her brother a pep talk. Have you seen this, Asim?
I'm trying to bring it to mind. I can't imagine that I haven't.
So it is just too awesome. First of all, Dignity Health, I'm not promoting it, but it's, I guess, I don't know, it's a health plan and it's about living.
Right. I kind of remember that. So maybe keep talking.
Yeah. So this little girl and this little boy is sitting there. I guess maybe he had a bad day, but she says that the only way I can remember is that, she says, critters don't do what they're supposed to, but you do. You got this. You're a star. And it is just the most adorable thing, because, she's talking and listening. And then when she says, you are a star, he finally cracks a smile, because he is totally listening to her.
Oh, that sounds cute. I don't know how I missed that.
So I hope I can find this commercial. If I can't,
Yeah.
post it on my YouTube channel. So that said, I did a Moxie on Fearless, and they were all different letters for the mnemonic. So might as well watch that too. But the Larisa group is the name of the YouTube channel. But that commercial, they could play that every break in the show, because it is really cute. And it looks like, I'm gonna get off this in a minute, but it looks like, it looks like someone just captured this and sent it in. I don't know if that's true or not, but it does not look made up or affected.
Right.
Two kids really having a conversation. And kids say the darndest thing, as they used to say.
So we can learn a lot from them sometime, right?
Yeah. So I totally love that. And with that said, we did mention how what you do impacts others. So now you know that the kids are listening. So you're impacting kids if you have kids at home. So as we wrap this up, I just want to remind you that living fearlessly does not mean drama free. Now, we already know that life happens, sometimes at 90 miles an hour, but your defining moments will be determined by your response to those challenges. So I hope that you are encouraged to begin your journey of fearless living. And if you need some support, listen to this podcast again so you can get those steps. And it's just a helpful reminder on how you can approach your day, how you can approach your journey. And we want you to approach it fearlessly. Sister Lee, all good?
All good. I'm ready to take on the world, girl.
So that has been our podcast for today. I hope that you have found some value in it. Do please share with a friend. And as always, make sure you subscribe. We come to you every week for these little fireside chats, and we invite you to grab a cuppa and just listen. As a matter of fact, it's certainly binge worthy listening, because podcast, you're listening and you can do what you do, and you hear those pearls and, I got to write that down. So keep your journal handy so you will have these tools to refer back to. So coming next week, make sure you tune in. We will wrap up October with the second interview from our Voyager interview series. This time we are talking with Coach Jen Trum. She is a lifestyle coach. And the reason we wanted to close out October with this conversation is because, you know, sometimes we want to make a change or we want to do something different. We want to step out more boldly. And, you know, we're a little bit challenged. And so we need some additional support. So we want to help you find out how you can have your life, your design by the numbers. So make sure you tune in next week for our Voyager interview series with Jen Trump. And that, my darlings, will be all for today. And we will see you on the next podcast. Thanks so much. Ciao.